A nation is born. The symbol of its sovereignty and identity flies for the first time. The scene in South Sudan is nothing less than electric.
Africa's youngest nation, born in 2011, out of the ashes of decades of war. A land rich in oil, culture, and hope, but also rich in pain. South Sudan, the nation that fought for freedom, now fighting itself. Why would a people who shared the same dream now turn against one another? To understand this tragedy, we must go deeper into history, politics, power, and the African soul itself. 1. Historical background: the long road to independence. Before independence, South Sudan lived through two of Africa's longest wars. The people of the South, Black Africans, Christians, and followers of traditional faiths, faced decades of marginalization from Khartoum. Their struggle was not only for land, but for dignity. Led by the late Dr. John Garang.
We have been moving around in the new Sudan, explaining and sensitizing people. Our aim is to explain and brief our constituencies in all parts of the Sudan, in the south, in the north, in the west, in the east, in the far north, and in the center of what is it that has been signed, the peace agreement, and how can we use it in order to effect democratic transformation of our country. And that's what I would like to do today. Take this occasion to continue what we are doing at home, to brief and inform the Sudanese diaspora of the peace process and the peace agreement.
The SPLA dreamed of a new Sudan, where every citizen from Darfur to Juba would live as equals. But war leaves scars, and when independence came, it carried the ghosts of the past: mistrust, division, and wounds still open. 2. Power struggles among leaders. After the flag was raised and the anthem sung, South Sudan's unity began to fade. In 2013, the two men who led the liberation, President Salva Kiir and Vice President Riek Machar, turned on each other. What began as political rivalry quickly became ethnic war, Dinka against Nuer. Thousands were killed, and millions displaced in a matter of months. How could leaders who once fought side by side for freedom now destroy their own creation? The answer lies not just in politics, but in power, and the hunger to keep it. 3. Control of resources, the curse of oil. Beneath South Sudan's soil lies wealth, black gold. Oil was supposed to build schools, roads, hospitals, but instead, it built palaces for the few. The oil became a curse, a magnet for corruption and foreign interest. China drills it, Sudan refines it, and politicians profit from it, while ordinary South Sudanese remain trapped in poverty. When resources become power, power becomes worth killing for. This is not just South Sudan's story, it's Africa's tragedy. Rich lands, poor people, because our wealth is managed for others, not for us. 4. Ethnic divisions and revenge attacks. South Sudan is a mosaic of more than 60 ethnic groups, each proud, each with deep traditions. But years of war, cattle raids, and mistrust hardened hearts. When national politics collapsed, these communities turned on one another, reviving old feuds.
I won't just shoot, but if anyone comes close to my cattle, I will kill him. I always take my weapon and go with my cattle to graze, because there are enemies out there.
In some areas, entire generations have grown up knowing nothing but revenge. They killed my brother, so I must avenge him, a young fighter once said. It is a cycle, blood for blood, loss for loss, that has no end until forgiveness is found. 5. Weak institutions and corruption independence came, but nation building did not. South Sudan's systems, justice, security, economy, were fragile from birth. Without accountability, corruption spread like wildfire. Billions in oil revenue vanished. Soldiers went unpaid. Public trust crumbled. And when the law fails, people look for protection from their tribes, not their government. It is here that nations begin to die. not from bullets, but from broken trust.
The number of the firearms being owned by the community or a civilian is more than the number of firearms we have. There are a lot of youth armed.
6. External influence when others profit from your pain. Every African war attracts foreign interest, and South Sudan is no exception. Nations around it, Sudan, Uganda, Kenya, Ethiopia, all have something to gain. Global powers too, supplying arms, buying oil, influencing leaders. It is the same old game, divide and profit. We must ask ourselves, why do we keep letting outsiders write our destiny? Pan-Africanism is not just a dream, it's a necessity. Because if we, Africans, do not unite, others will keep profiting from our disunity. South Sudan's war is not just internal, it's part of a global system that benefits from our chaos. 7. Humanitarian crisis, the cost of endless war. The human cost is beyond numbers. Over 2 million people have fled their homes. Children grow up in tents, not classrooms. Food insecurity, floods, and fear haunt daily life. Peace deals are signed, yes, but peace on paper does not rebuild broken hearts. True peace needs justice, healing, and leadership that listens. Until then, the suffering continues. 8. Reflection. The Pan-African message. South Sudan's story is not only about war, it's about Africa's unfinished dream. The dream of unity, dignity, and self-reliance. The dream that our borders should not divide us, but our vision should unite us. From Juba to Nairobi, from Kinshasa to Accra, the message is the same. Africa must rise above tribalism, above greed, above manipulation. South Sudan can heal, and when it does, it will remind the continent that Africa's strength lies not in its oil or gold, but in its people, its unity, and its peace.